couple of days before Rosh Hashana. And there's a beautiful insight which parallels the Yom Tovim to the day of the month that they fall. Both Sukkot and Pesach fall exactly in the middle of the month, on the 15th of the month. And the 15th is when the moon is full. What does a full moon represent in Yiddishkeit? The sun represents that which gives influence, the mashpia. And that represents HaKadosh Baruch Hu giving his hashpa'ah in this world. The moon is what Am Yisrael represent. We're that which is reflecting the light of Hashem. The Jewish people's mission in this world is to take all the messages that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us through the Torah and to shine and reflect that light back to the world. Sometimes we're not a full moon and we're not fully portraying HaKadosh Baruch Hu's holiness in the world. And sometimes we're at a peak, we're at a high. Maybe at the time of Shlomo Melech was a good example of that, where the Beis HaMikdash was built and we were fully shining the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Both Pesach and Sukkot are exactly at the middle of the month, because that was the time when Am Yisrael had left Egypt. HaKadosh Baruch Hu had fully shined his countenance upon us as we were coming out of Egypt, as we were sitting in the booths. Now Shavuos, interestingly, is not at the middle of the month, but rather it's at the 7th of the month, on Vav, and sometimes also Zayin, Sivan. That's on the way up. That represents that Hashem has given us the Torah, but it still depends on us. We still have to learn the Torah, bring out the Torah. The written Torah was given to us, but the oral Torah is out in our hands to develop. So it's on the rise of the moon. Already some of the moon has started showing its face, but there's still more that we have to put into action. Interestingly, Purim is not exactly at the middle of the month, but one day before. Because Purim was at a time when Hashem did show his countenance to us, but didn't reveal it fully. So it's the 14th of the month, almost at the full month, almost where you see the full light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but we're still lacking the Beis HaMikdash, just before Bayis Sheni. So it wasn't on the 15th exactly, but it was approaching the 15th. Chanukah, on the other hand, is towards the end of the month, where there still is a moon, but it's fading. And that represents in Jewish history that Jewish history was on the decline. The second Beis HaMikdash was already leaning downwards, and after the great miracle of Chanukah, where there still was a light shining, with the following kings of the Chashmonaim, Am Yisrael went downhill and it eventually led to the Galus. So with that whole perspective, what does Rosh Hashana represent? On Rosh Hashana, it's the only Chag that we have where there's no moon at all. Does that mean that we're not shining the light of Hashem? According to this idea, are we not representing HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world? But you can understand the following. Tiku b'chodesh shofar b'keser yom chagenu. Yontif of Rosh Hashana is on a day where the moon is hidden. Because how this following year is still hidden. How everything is going to play out, it hasn't yet been determined. It's not yet clear. It's a day where everything is still to be determined. Because how we behave on the day of Rosh Hashana, and how much we declare Malchus Hashem on the day of Rosh Hashana, Hashem will determine what tools He's going to give us, what type of a life He's going to give us, what health He's going to give us, what type of an influence we'll be able to have, how much of His light will be able to shine throughout the course of the year. So Rosh Hashanah, the reason why the light is not shining, the reason why Bekeser Yom Chagenu, it is a Chag, but it's a hidden Chag, it's because how this Chag is going to be revealing Hashem in the world is yet to be determined. And that depends on us. As we stand before HaKadosh Baruch Hu on Rosh Hashanah, and we declare Hashem as King on Rosh Hashanah, and we say, Hashem, we wish to be loyal and devoted and faithful to you. Hashem, help us be the conduits through which to bring a Kiddush Hashem into the world. Then our prayer is that going from not seeing the moon at all, through our tefillah and our devotion to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, through our will and our motivation that we have in serving Hashem, the year will turn out to be a full moon, to be a full portrayal of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world. Wishing you a ketiva v'chatima tov.